Okay, and we're on. Let me just send this to him real quick. Then we'll get started with our intro. Sorry if it looks a little yellowy. Guess not. Guess this one's gonna be a little yellowy tonight. Alright. There you are.
And I'm here.
I think you just gotta flip the camera.
Yeah, actually, this is the camera, so you can. So a
Ah,
little bit blurry over here. Sorry about that. Bad camera.
not a problem.
How
Okay,
you been, Brendan?
doing good. All right. And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to the first installment of WestWard Media's All Things Media. That title is still up in the air for discussion. I am joined this week by the new Matt Reeves Batman himself, Connor. And
Hey,
I
how's it going?
and I
Thank you for letting
am
me be here. It's very pleasure to join this live group chat. I'm so excited to review this movie with you.
absolutely, and I am not a serial killer who leaves clues for the Batman.
And
I'll
I am
be,
not a mass vigilante with some mental problems. Well, that's
yeah, good. All right. So, first things first, we are here to discuss the Batman. I've first got to ask, how many times have you seen this now total?
Oh boy. Well, I gotta say, I I'm not ashamed to admit this, Brendan, but I've seen this about 5 times.
Five? Oh,
Yeah, I think that should tell you how much I love this movie.
I think that's like me with Endgame, only a lot faster. Oh my
Um,
God. All right. Well, I've seen this twice since it came out. First, opening night with you, and then I just went again yesterday afternoon with my family to go see it. And yeah, seeing it a second time definitely has kept it fresh in my mind. I'm sure you could literally recite this though in your mind at this point.
yes, I can. Uh, so, well, I think to start this review, I think we should talk to the audience what this movie is going to be about. So, the Batman is, about Batman in his second year of crime fighting. He's beating up criminals in Gotham City. Gotham is a wreck. It is flooded with corrupt politicians and criminals running through the streets. And suddenly, a masked serial killer by the name of the Riddler
Hold
strikes
on.
down.
Do we want to start this with a non-spoiler review and then get into spoilers, or
Yes, let's start with a non-spoiler review because I have a lot to talk about in the spoiler review after.
yes?
Um,
All
so
right. So first, just give me your overall thoughts about like first, I know this was your most anticipated movie of the year. So did it live up to the hypes and what were your general thoughts of this?
Well, considering that I've seen the Batman 5 times, not only did this live up to the hype, but it exceeded the hype. It surpassed it. This is the Batman for me is my favorite Batman movie. It is my favorite DC movie, and it's my favorite comic book movie. I think it really surpassed the standards of what a comic book film should be. Instead of it being like your traditional flavor of the week superhero movie, it instead becomes a detective story, a film noir, and even a horror movie at points, especially the scenes with the Riddler. Um, and and what I love about this movie, and dare I say it, and I hate to sound like I'm overhyping it a bit, but these are my true feelings. I put the Batman above the Dark Knight.
And you,
Yeah,
yeah, I was wondering if you still felt like that after all this time, because I know like early on, when you're in that kind of honeymoon phase of like when you just saw a movie, you're like, oh my God, it's the best. But then once you get You get a little
Yeah,
time to think about.
that's what I was expecting. But I saw it 5 times just to gather all my thoughts. I let it marinate in my head for about a week or two, and it just really, really surpassed my expectations. It really delivered strongly.
Nice.
I think what I really love about this movie, what puts us above The Dark Knight, because I think two are like the best comic book movies. They are some of the best movies ever made.
He's
But what really sets this above are the performances from each and every actor. Because in The Dark Knight, everyone thinks the main standout of that movie was Heath Ledger as the Joker. Whereas in the Batman, every actor had their chance to shine, and they all delivered perfectly. Robert Pattinson, I think he's an excellent Batman, one of the best iterations, and definitely my favorite take on the character. And what I liked about it was how they explored like both his detective skills and his mental struggles in the film. We can tell he's a very broken man. But before I go on even further, I just want to say this about my earlier comment about being trying to say I'm not a mass vigilante with some mental issues. I wasn't trying to trying to be inappropriate or be offensive towards people who actually do suffer from mental illness. So if I ever offended anybody in any way, I deeply apologize. Just want to get that out of my chest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, we're just dabbling, trying out different intro styles. I kind of, when I was introducing ourselves that way, I was almost kind of paying a little homage to Team Four Star with how they do like their intros in their Talkcast pod show.
Okay, good. So I guess maybe I shouldn't feel too guilty. But despite that though, moving on, he is excellent. Robert Pattinson is an excellent Batman. I think he is. I don't think about it now. I think he is the best Batman. He's the best Batman with Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. I think he really captured the character. He displayed his mental struggles. He displayed his detective skills. He displayed the sheer brutality of Batman. Those punches felt real. But what I love the most about this Batman is that throughout most of it, he doesn't really act with his mouth. He acts with his eyes. And that's just a great way of conveying visual storytelling through a movie, just to show us how he's feeling without using too many words. Exposition in this movie was used in the right places.
Mm.
And now let's go on to Paul Dano as the Riddler. Scary. The Riddler in this movie scared the crap out of me. Usually when I think of the Riddler, I think of him being this very witty, quirky goofball. But here, he's basically the Zodiac Killer mixed with John Doe from Seven and Michael Myers from Halloween.
Someone actually said he was kind of I forget what the first comparison was, but they said he reminded them a little of Buffalo Bill.
Oh yeah, I can see a little bit of that too. Like I said, until we'll talk more about this in our spoiler review, but I can say that Paul Dano was scary as the Riddler. Now moving on to Zoe Kravitz, she's very charismatic, very mesmerizing, and electrifying as Catwoman. Does she beat all the other iterations? Well, I know it could be a little bit tough to compare, but I can say that her performance is a lot more memorable than Anne Hathaway's in The Dark Knight Rises, and definitely an improvement over Halle Berry in the Catwoman movie.
Oh, she doesn't even count as Catwoman. Her name in that isn't even Selena Kyle. That they literally just took the name Catwoman and said, okay, now that's all that there is. That's all she is. In fact, she's the polar opposite, because Selena Kyle is supposed to represent those struggling with poverty. And that movie, though I never saw it, but I'm aware of the concepts, is the exact opposite of poverty when she's working at a fashion industry kind of thing.
It was that movie was forgettable at best.
It's one of those that even if you haven't seen it, you can still rip on it and call it garbage because you've just heard so many bad reviews.
Exactly. Now, where I rank Zoe Kravitz up with Michelle Pfeiffer, I think it's gonna be hard to top Michelle, Pfeiffer, but I can definitely say she's on par with her as the best iteration of Catwoman. I really bought her performance. I loved her chemistry with Batman in the movie. I really bought them. I really bought their relationship. It just works. And now we can talk about Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Like he is just incredibly charismatic, extremely funny. Like he had some very surprisingly humorous moments that I wasn't expecting. And he was yeah, exactly. We'll talk more about that later, but like
Yeah.
it's like he was definitely one of the shining moments in the Batman. And I think one performance that hasn't been talked about that much was John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. Like I know that he's a very
I'm
he's not
familiar with
well
him. I saw him in that show Monk where he played his brother, and I remember him from the Transformers movie. So I was a little excited to see him in this.
me too. I was excited for him because he's the Jesus from the Big Lebowski, and but I love John Turturro as an actor. You know, not just the Big Lebowski, but Do the Right Thing, Barton Fink, Miller's Crossing. Like he's just an excellent actor, and he really played a very intimidating iteration of Carmine Falcone. Now, Carmine Falcone was a villain in a couple of Batman comics, most notably The Long Halloween. And to
Yes.
see him be adapted into this and really showing that intimidation was, you know, honestly was something that's very, I don't want to say intimidating again, but, you know, it's really, I want to say electrifying. That's another word I want to say. Like, even thrilling. Like, there are moments where, with him, that I kind of felt very uncomfortable with him, especially with just that, where he talks with this very kind and soft tone in his voice. It's very manipulative, and it works. So I really wish more people
Yeah.
could talk about John Turturro in this movie because he's an actor that's definitely worth a lot of recognition. Um, and who else? Andy Serkis is Alfred. We might not get much of him, but like he brings a lot of emotion in this movie. Like the moments between him and Bruce, like are just very tender. They're very like it shows how caring he is towards Bruce, like a very father figure to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Um,
gotta ask though, because we've had so many good iterations of this character. What were your thoughts on Jeffrey Wright as Gordon?
oh, I love him. I absolutely love Jeffrey Wright as Gordon. Like it is like there's so many great things about Jeffrey Wright as an actor. Like I can always say like whenever no matter what movie he's in, like he's always one of those shining actors that deserves more recognition, just like John Turturro. And Jeffrey Wright, like I think he's tied with Gary Oldman as my favorite Gordon. Like I love his chemistry with Batman. I love the buddy relationship they had in the movie, and I was kind of worried that he wouldn't get as much screen time in this movie as the other characters. But man, I was proven wrong. Like he's in it a lot. Like
Yeah, I
he's
think
almost
they
like a sidekick
divided
to
the time
Batman
very
or
well.
Robin.
Yeah, they definitely divided the time among all the characters very well, so everyone got the right amount of time. It wasn't even like, oh, it's even amount. It's just like the necessary amount of time.
Exactly. That's what matters. Like give these actors a necessary amount of time to perform. And like I said, every actor delivered. Every actor did a tremendous job. And um it's just like I really hope to see I would see these actors reprise their roles again in the future installments. Like I know Matt Reeves is trying to build like this bigger universe for
Yes,
Batman. Like
with
there's a
HBO.
rumored Arkham Asylum TV show. That's something I'm looking forward to. There's
I'm
the Penguin
excited for
show.
that.
Now that's something I'm definitely looking forward to.
Oh, yeah, Penguin, Arkham Knight, like any of that, I will. I think they're even developing like a Gotham police force kind of series, maybe any of that I'm down for.
Me too. Me too. And now that we got the actors, and I've got the casting department out of the way, let's talk about uh, the the cinematography by Greg Fraser. Wow, like absolutely wow. Like Greg Fraser can make Gotham look both hideously disgusting and downright beautiful all at once. It's not too neon like the Joel Schumacher Batman movies, but
Yeah,
it's
there's like a couple of shots like when he's going like kind of around what almost seems like Times Square, where it's a
yes,
lot more vibrant and bright, but then you get into the more grittier areas here and there.
absolutely. Like there's like it's that perfect balance of color and grit. Like the red hues really shine, but it also feels dirty. Like you're in a very dirty area. And the way that the camera moves for the fight action scenes, like with Batman beating up criminals, like it's very smooth, not too jumpy, not too shaky. It's like you're there. It's like you're witnessing Batman
It,
beat up a bunch of people. And
it's very solid choreography, I'll say. I remember, like, originally I didn't think I had too many issues with the choreography in The Dark Knight Rises, but a lot of people were saying some of it was off. Like, I thought having a 3,000 cops versus a few thousand um, thugs and criminals looks still pretty good. Like, you could see where some are kind of faking it here and there, but it didn't look too bad because they were so crowded. But I remember some people pointing out there's people like when he and Catwoman are fighting all those criminals, there's guys that are like several feet away from them that kind of fling their bodies like they got hit when they clearly did not get hit.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, here you can really see where each one makes contact. I will say though, is that suit supposed to be bulletproof?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's a bulletproof outfit. Like it's all made of metal. Like it's kind of like tactical armor that Ben Affleck wore in Zack Snyder's Justice League and Christian Bale wore in the Dark Knight trilogy. But here in the Batman, it's a lot more metal. There's a lot more metal on his suit, and just to prevent him from getting shot or bleeding out to death. But he does take some punches. He does take some serious hits, but it's not to the point of not to the point where he has to go to the hospital.
Yeah, there are almost points where you think to yourself, how did he survive that? I think one of the big ones people were pointing out was not so much a gun thing, but something that we'll get into a little in spoilery. But the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, he put up his arms. Okay, that's why he doesn't have any scars on him.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we do see some scarring on his back in one moment. It's in the trailer, so it's not a big spoiler. But yeah, there were times where he still gets hurt, and sometimes it's very critical. But he manages to get himself back up and continue fighting. Like this is a very strong Batman. Even if he is broken on the inside, he's strong on the outside, and he manages.
Yeah, and I like how he can still have limits to him, like where he needs a little help, we'll say a little enhancement at a certain point to get the job done.
Yeah, and well, with the cinematography out of the way, let's talk about music by Michael Giacchino. What did you think of that? Because my God, that is the best Batman score I have ever heard. Like it's very gothic, it's very epic, and
so before we get too much in the music, I kind of wanted to touch a lot on the cinematography and casting myself. I noticed a lot throughout that movie the way they would frame certain shots. It felt like they were moving from regular cinematic style to actual, like, these are the kind of shots you actually would see in a comic book. This angle for this shot, like with this hand here, like this angle of the contraptions, like a lot of it felt like I was watching, like I was flipping through a comic book in some regards.
I felt the same way, especially when after buying Batman Year One, the day after, like just reading it just gave me those strong the Batman, like watching the movie, I should say. Watching the movie gives me strong comic book vibes. It's very much like a graphic novel. But
yes.
But what I love most about this movie is it feels like a film. It's cinema.
Yes.
It's like I said, it plays out more like a film noir or a horror movie than it does a traditional comic book movie. But those comic elements are still there.
Yeah. Now, I will say there's a certain scene where I'll say maybe the effects weren't. You could super tell there was a certain shot where he's flying and you could see how green screen that looked.
Actually, those weren't green screens. What Greg Fraser used were special LED screens, and he uses them in certain moments, specific, probably that scene of him flying in the air, but also the scenes where they're standing by the, what am I supposed to say, the skyscraper or the building, where the bat signal is. They used LED screens for those moments.
Yeah, it was like just the way his body was moving versus the background. It was almost like there was a part of me that was like, those two aren't quite that blended for like just that one shot when he was flying. like everything else seemed like blended so well, but that was the one point where I noticed, yeah, I can see the effects on that.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely understand that. But I never personally had a problem with it. It wasn't as
Oh yeah,
it,
no.
it wasn't as jarring as, let's say, the green screen effect in Batman and Robin, where Barbara is hanging on the edge of a building and she's being saved by Chris O'Donnell's Dick Grayson. Like when you watch that scene, you will understand. It's right after
I
the
don't know if I ever would, but it also kind of took me to that. I did not see it, but I'm familiar with the infamous. It's either Superman 3 or 4, where they
oh
just use the
Superman
same
4.
green screen shot of him flying everywhere, and it's just a different background every single time.
Oh God, Superman 4. Yeah, yeah, it's that movie. It's that one.
Yeah, but and if I may too, for me, he definitely is, in terms of casting, if I could just add a little to that, I definitely would say yes, Robert Pattinson is probably one of my favorites. He's perfect as a young Batman. Just how, like, even though I wasn't as crazy about Ben Affleck, the idea of him being a Batman, I was like, you know what? He's a good aged Batman, someone who's just been doing this for so long to the point of, am I even making a difference? But this is a kid who's fresh into his time there. And I remember being a little nervous at the beginning when he was narrating because I thought, are they going to do this the whole way through? Like some people are saying this is like Zodiac. I'm worried this is going to be like Yuli Lao's Curse of the Zodiac or Zodiac Killer, which anything by Yuli Lao was never good, but thank God it wasn't. It was just narration at the beginning, narration at the end, and I was just like, yes, that works. That is solid. Um, I still haven't seen Michelle Pfeiffer's performance as Catwoman. I do need to see that, but
You never saw Batman
I,
Returns,
yeah,
but I definitely recommend it, man. I
yeah,
definitely recommend.
yeah, and Jeffrey Wright himself, wow. Like I'm most recently familiar with his work with, of course, What If. His voice for that is solid. The crazy thing is, I don't think we've ever really had much of a bad Jim Gordon. I think that's just one where, as like, there's some people where you're like, no one else could play this character. Iron Man, that's only Robert Downey Jr., stuff like that. But here, they just managed to always find someone so good. Even that show Gotham, I barely watched it, but the actor who played Jim Gordon that at the start, I'm like, yeah, that I can see him as Jim Gordon. I can see Gary Oldman, like all of them. They're all solid picks, and I think Jeffrey Wright worked perfectly in this movie with his deep voice for that very dark noir style they were going with.
I
They
absolutely
each
agree.
matched
You know,
their
he
tone for the movie.
he kind of reminds me of Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. Like, I'm getting too old for this. I'm getting too old for this shit. Pardon my French.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah,
reminds me of
I
that
can see that.
that very gritty like that very gritty voice and personality. Like he's kind of aged. He's like he's getting but he's still he's still willing to, like, try to fight crime. And
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the Riddler. So I've only seen a couple other performances, sort of. There was the guy in the Gotham series, like his intro, everyone would be trying to stump him with a different riddle. He could always figure it out. I didn't see the movie, but I'm familiar with the Jim Carrey one and how they said it did not feel like they casted Jim Carrey as the Riddler. It felt like they turned the Riddler into Jim Carrey.
yeah, that was basically it. He was like he was a little too Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey as an actor. I think
Yeah,
he's
like yeah,
a great actor,
if they give
and
you
he can do
permission if
dramatic
they give him
performances.
permission to do something in a movie where it fits, like in Sonic, they're just like Jim Carrey, just go super you, and he does, and it works. He steals the show. He is the highlight of that movie. This one, I don't think that was a good mix.
I
Um,
I agree with you. Like, it's like in the comics, like he is quirky and eccentric, but I think Jim Carrey here, especially Tommy Lee Jones as Two Face, both of them reminded me more of like the Joker than I do for the Riddler.
that they felt like cosplay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Um,
but for the actor who played him in this
Paul Dano.
movie, Paul Dano. So when I first saw this, yes, I was beyond creeped out by him. This isn't super spoilery, but that first person perspective, a nice touch, and then the friggin' peekaboo shot when the lights turn on, I was just like, oh dear God, what the hell?
Yep.
When
Oh God, that part really scared the crap out of me. I loved it. Like
the
that's
way
what
he
that's what made me. That moment was made me realize. Oh yeah, this is going to be a great movie.
yeah, and the way he breathes too. See, that's where it got me a little. I thought to myself, so he's playing a good serial killer. The trick with it is to sometimes be a really good role of that. You also have to kind of dance a little in the cliche of it, like what you think a cliche of a serial killer is, like him just being like, "Goodbye, people. I'm a psycho." And then when he's unmasked, I know you liked him singing that song, but I thought to myself, I've heard so many people in psycho roles sing opera before.
But it could be a cliche, but it's a cliche that works.
For this movie, it works. It's like they haven't done it in a while, and yeah, you almost forget for a moment that he's kind of going after. I mean, they're not. I wouldn't say people you're like, yeah, get them. They're also not exactly the most innocent, and you're trying to. It wraps your head around the morality of it a little with, was he really this inspired by a guy trying to do good, or is he just this twisted? Because there's like that moment at the end when we get to the spoilers where I thought, you're kind of contradicting yourself a little with what you wanted for the end result.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
I mean, I'm a guy who studied psychopaths, so with me, I'm a little more critical on that kind of role. So that's probably what it is for me.
I understand. I definitely see where you're coming from on this. But but regardless, I still think that Paul Dano gave an incredible performance.
Oh
Like
yeah, no, he was solid.
easily, like to me, he's like the best Riddler and my favorite one. Um, but now that we've gotten, now that we've gotten talk about like casting.
The generic. You want to get into the spoilers now?
Not yet. I want to bring up the music by Michael Giacchino. I want to know what you
Okay,
thought
yeah.
about that because
That
personally,
I actually was about to dive into because before we get into the compose stuff, I just want your thoughts. What were your thoughts about them using a Nirvana song in this?
perfect, perfect. It's like it was used in the right places, and I feel like that song really fits the character of Batman. Like
Yeah,
when you listen to it, the lyrics, the tone, Kurt Cobain's voice, and I don't know if you know about this, but Matt Reeves, like the appearance for Bruce Wayne in this movie, Matt Reeves said that he was inspired by Kurt Cobain.
oh,
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't think about it at first, but when you notice him, like he's like when you see it in the movie, it's like, oh yeah, I can see the Kurt Cobain influence.
okay. Now,
Yeah.
how would you compare the scored music in this to like stuff like, say, Danny Elfman's in Batman or Hans Zimmer in the Dark Knight trilogy, or I forget her name from the Joker movie, but I know she won
Oh,
an
Ilder
Oscar for it.
Gooden, forgive my mispronunciation, but Ilder Gunnadotter, if I say that
Yeah,
right. Like
something
I
around
think
there.
all of those scores are memorable and very all those yeah they're all memorable. That's all I can say. Like they're very like they can be epic, gothic, haunting. Like I feel like Michael Giacchino captured all of that with his score. Like like I loved how the score played out like a character. Like every time Batman showed up, like you'll hear those two notes, doom, doom, doom,
In
doom,
the
doom,
shadow
doom,
thing at the
doom.
beginning.
And it was kind of like how John Williams used the Jaws score every time the shark appeared.
Oh, that's a really good comparison. You're
Yeah,
right,
it was.
because he's kind of creeping around. There's a whole ocean, and you don't know where this one shark is gonna pop out to feed on.
But I also love the Riddler score, the Riddler's theme song. It's like a distorted version of Ave Maria. Like when you hear it go, it's very eerie, very scary, kind of like a horror movie theme song in a way. Like, and then you have Catwoman's theme, and it's very elegant, very beautiful. It's kind of like and also a bit haunting because it kind of matches the femme fatale personality of Catwoman, like that you or any femme fatale doll that you would get in a film noir. I kind of got Chinatown vibes from this.
Yeah, yeah. Like you said with her, it's lovely but deadly.
Yeah, pretty much, and that's what Catwoman is—a lovely but deadly character.
Yes. Yeah, I totally dug on the music. That opening, I think, was one of the things that really got me hooked in. Like this was a movie when I first saw it, and I think it also had to do with the fact that we first saw this at IMAX because I normally go to Lincoln. I didn't like once this started. I don't think I breathed until the movie finished, and I was like scarfing popcorn the whole time and just being like passing around
Yeah, I know.
like good, okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, it was like one very subtle breath that I took throughout that whole experience. And this movie does blend all its elements together well. Like it knows it like that that they didn't just say, hey, so what do you think would be good? That they went on a board, jotted down each element, where everything needed to go. They took their time with this. This was carefully planned.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, this movie took like almost 5 years to make. Like Matt Reeves was originally going to direct the Batman, and it was going to have Ben Affleck's Batman in it. But he left the project, and it was supposed to be connected to DCEU. But now that Ben Affleck left the project, like Matt Reeves wanted to make it his own, so he did. And he had to try make his own script, write these characters, what type of movie this is going to be, and it ended up being such a unique and well-crafted film that I hope we get to see more of this.
Oh, I definitely want a sequel. I 1,000,000% want a sequel.
And if you ask me, I think it deserves some Oscar nominations, especially best adapted screenplay, best actors in a leading or supporting role, and definitely best score by Mike, because Michael Giacchino deserves one.
Yeah. The score I feel like could be up for an Oscar, if not this year, next year, hopefully. But
and because this is like my favorite movie of the year so far, I definitely wanted to get a Best Picture nomination and Best Director because Matt Reeves, man, he nailed it. Like
I
Matt
feel like
Reeves
he could get at
nailed
least a best director for this. Yeah, you know what? I really do. The cinematography, the score, the directing. Yeah, I think those are the three that would be most likely to be up for the big awards.
But I really think Robert Pattinson should get a Best Actor nomination because, like I said, he acted with his eyes. And, sometimes less is more.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because, okay, so this is going to be a tiny spoiler, eh? People die in this because you already hear that the Riddler is a serial killer.
Yeah.
One of the people who finds one of the victims is the son. And that parallel of so you already know like what Batman feels for him when he's just looking
Absolutely.
at the kid.
Like he just looks at the two look at each other with such sadness. And he doesn't say anything. I'm like, brilliant.
But the crazy thing was, there was a part of me that when he then sees the kid later at the funeral as himself, as Bruce Wayne, I thought to myself, I feel like that kid might know, because if you took that mask off, if he when he's giving him that look, if you took that mask off, It's the exact same look. You can see it, the jaw, the eyes, the exact same stare as what he gives him at that funeral. And it took me back to Joseph Gordon-Levitt when he was talking to Bruce Wayne about how he first knew who he was. He was like, "It was in your eyes. I
Yes,
could see
that's
it in your eyes."
that's
And I
right.
thought to myself, that kid's kind of. I know he's not supposed to be Robin growing up because I know how his parents died, but he kind of had that same thing of I I will bet you anything that kid could tell. Yeah, you're him.
Yeah,
You're
you know,
him.
it's that thing. Even though he's not Robin, he reminds me of Robin, and so I know that he was. I know Matt Reeves wasn't planning on using Robin for this movie, but
Which was
maybe,
fun.
huh? Yeah, which is fine, exactly, because this is Batman's second year. He's not going to get a Robin just yet.
Oh
Maybe,
yeah,
but
no, absolutely.
maybe in a sequel we might get that. I hope I hope we get it like a Robin that's done right, one that isn't too whiny, wasn't one that isn't like a whiny adult like Chris O'Donnell was in the Joel Schumacher movies, because that was just terrible. But someone who was that loyal companion to Batman. That's all I want from Robin.
I would not mind too if the Robin we get next also kind of like from the Batman 90s cartoon or like the comics I've been reading lately, like the like Three Jokers. He's one who's also kind of desperate to get his payback on those who wronged him. Like I know like what happens with his parents in the comics. Like they were trapeze artists, right? Like they
Yeah,
died.
Dick Grayson.
And I think to myself, I kind of dig that it's very hard for Bruce to guide him when he's a very vengeful character. But then he's like, I don't want you to be too vengeful because then you'll be heading down a darker path. Like this is we're going on the darkish path, but you can't go too far into the dark kind of thing.
Definitely. I think that that's basically the character journey for Batman in the movie.
Yeah.
It's about what I love about this Well, going back to that scene with Batman looking at the mayor's son, like in your theory on that, like let's remember this is a Batman who doesn't know how to be Bruce Wayne yet. He's still
Mm,
when you think about that. So
yeah.
some people might know who Batman will be in this universe.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just checking my battery percentage. Don't want to run out like I did the other night.
Okay, good. I
Yeah.
understand. So I think maybe we should talk about spoilers now. Is that?
Yes.
I think you're ready for that?
So, yeah, I'm totally fine because oh my God, was that ending one of the like just one of the most perfect openings for a movie.
Are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about the opening scene or like the ending to the movie? Because
The opening scene,
okay,
like
oh,
both for
I'm
the
sorry. I thought you
killer
said
and
ending
for
and
the
then the first.
Batman.
I'm sorry. I thought you said ending first, and I just got a little confused. Oh yeah, the opening scene was what sold me. Like the point of view of the Riddler just spying on the mayor's family and Ave Maria just playing in the background. I was like, oh my god, this
The way
is
he's just
perfect.
like even when you can finally see him in the house, the way he's just following him with just his eyes, like,
Eyes, yes, yes. And what I loved about that moment was like he reminds me of Michael Myers from Halloween. Like just him
oh,
standing
he
in the
looked like
corner,
he could not
just
wait to kill the guy. He looks like he could not wait to just hit him with that weapon.
oh yeah, that carpet tucker, and
Which I guess was kind of a little hint, not of what his big plan was, but the fact that hey, there's something under here.
yes, there was there, and just the way they open that scene, I was going, wait a minute, this is PG-13. Are you sure this is PG-13? Because it was
It's
so
very
dark, scary, and like the Riddler was just like stabbing him violent, like just over and over again.
just that grunt, that
Oh god, that part made me jump out of my seat when he did that. I was like, Jesus Christ!
yeah, it's very close to the line. I think if they had like one F bomb in that movie or one more murder scene, it would have probably gotten a rated R.
I like. I know I love this movie. I really wish they gave the Penguin the opportunity to say the F word. Like, I feel like he's that kind of character that would say that over and over again.
A little, but I also kind of like the way he's ripping on them when he's saying, "What, you don't know L from Law?
World's greatest detectives here.
The world's greatest detectives, my ass. You
It's like,
don't know L from Law? It's like it's not the stool pigeon, you moron. It's the bat."
yeah, it's the friggin' bat. That's the worst Spanish I've ever heard. But I love the Penguin's introduction in this movie. When Batman goes to the Iceberg Lounge, and
Oh, and the
parts
twins, the
where he's beating
twins
the
open
Carver
the door.
twins and all of Penguin's goons, and Penguin comes in, and it's just this one shot of him, and it's like, whoa, 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 take it easy, sweetheart. And he just keeps pausing and then says the next thing again. Oh, and then I can't even speak today, but he'll make some pauses, and then he'll keep on talking after. He'll be like, "Oh, you're everything they say, ain't ya? I guess we both are." And then he starts smiling and says, "How you doing? I'm Oz." I'm like, perfect. That is the perfect way to introduce the Penguin. And Colin
I
Farrell
even
was
like when
stunned.
Batman's confrontational with him. He's like, "Have you heard? Do you know my reputation?" And Batman just goes, "Do you?"
Oh, that was great. Yeah, dude. It's like,
Well, like I thought, is he talking about Penguin's reputation being not tough enough, or is he talking about his own reputation on what he does with criminals?
yeah,
It's like
probably a little
so
bit,
up in the air.
probably a little bit of both. But I think
Yeah,
another part where I thought was brilliant was, you know, in the Iceberg Lounge at the Penguin's office, Selena Kyle walks in, and barely any dialogue. Like the only line that was ever spoken in that moment was a Penguin saying, "Oh, it's okay, Mr. Vengeance here isn't gonna bite." And throughout the rest of it, like Selena, we get to know who Selena is as a character and what
yeah.
she like when she's like handing like the scene where she's like handing Penguin the money, and then Penguin gives her the drops, and then she looks at the photo of her roommate and
And
and the
Batman
mayor, and then
shortly
she
after
looks at Batman,
recognizes the
and then she
truth.
exits. I'm like, that was brilliant, and we get to know who Catwoman is within those seconds.
Yeah,
Like no
and it's like
dialogue, just visual storytelling.
yeah, that like you can tell throughout this, like Matt Reeves knows not everyone needs the full exposition right from the get-go because he knows people know these stories. They know the characters. So you can wait a little bit to say, "Hey, here's a woman who actually lives with cats." Which by the way, that whole "you got a lot of cats here."
I know. I love that deadpan humor. You got a lot of cats. I have a thing about
Yeah,
snakes.
they knew Batman had to tell at least one joke, and that was like the right spot to do it, I feel.
Me too. It's like and what I love about this movie is that the humor fits. Matt Reeves put humor in the right places.
Yeah. Oh God, that. So when we were in the theater, I almost said this out loud during the flying sequence when he takes off after he escapes the cops.
Oh, I think.
When he hits that, when he's trying to go over the truck but under the bridge and just clips and wipes out, there was a part of me that wanted to yell out loud, "My name's Batman. Welcome to Jackass."
Yeah, that pretty much is a Jackass moment.
He does. He wipes out like he's on Jackass.
I think one very funny part, like, was right. So basically, it was right before Batman escapes, and he's being interrogated by all the cops. And you have Detective Gordon or Lieutenant Gordon, like try to separate Batman from the cops. He talks to him privately, and he says, "Hey, you got to get me out of here. I have a plan. Just punch me in the face and just glide through the ceiling." And and when Batman punches him in the face and they meet each other again, Gordon goes, "You really could have pulled that punch, man." He's like, "I did." I thought that was hilarious.
Oh my God. So, one thing I got to bring up, thank you for reminding me during that interrogation with all the cops, there was that one who came in who we also saw earlier on. Who the hell was he? The guy who sounded like he was doing an impression of the Godfather. It's because of you we lost a lot of good people.
Oh yes, yes. Con O'Neill, I believe is the actor's name, and he plays Chief Mackenzie Bach. I just
Is
love.
that what he sounds like in real life, or they just let him fool around?
Uh, I, I believe he's not. I'm not sure if he's from Ireland or the UK, so he definitely tried to put on an American accent. And he does sound like Vito Corleone in The Godfather. He
He
has that
sounds exactly like him.
very light voice, but and is very
He sounds like he's kind of weak, like he's trying to cover up the fact he's wheezing while he talks.
yeah. It's like I noticed that too. Not saying that's a bad. Not saying he gave a bad performance. I think he gave a very good
No,
performance.
no, he gave a very fine
But you're
performance. I'm
right.
just
I
saying
can't
that was
help but
very
think of
noticeable.
Vito Corleone when he talks in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying like that was super noticeable. That was a very noticeable thing that made me just be like, what are you doing there?
Well, let's not forget that apparently Gotham City is set in New Jersey. So there are some of that New York, New Jersey accents.
Yeah, it is super like New York around there, Jersey. Like it feels like that midpoint, like in the middle of the bridge.
Especially the commissioner before Gordon, like Commissioner Savage, like he kind of sounds like Joe Pesci, the actor who plays him.
Yeah, he did. He 100% did.
But speaking of that commissioner, how about the way he died? Ugh.
Oh, the rats.
The rat trap, and like we don't see much of it, but
even when they flash that photo, you really don't see what his face actually looked like.
But you can tell it's a bit gnarly. Like, ugh. Yeah.
If they had showed that, that would have gotten them that rated R right there.
Oh, it did. But like I said, sometimes less is more. So instead, they took the 7 route where they describe how he died. And when Gordon tells Batman he was injected with arsenic, rat poison, and it was just so spine chilling. Like this, regardless if he was going to make it out alive by the Riddler, he still would have died later on.
Yeah. And then of course the third murder was the third murder the ticking time bomb on the DA.
Yes, Gil Colson.
Yeah.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, but that was what I was talking about. 'Cause I thought to myself, why isn't Batman getting away from him? It's literally counting down to 1 at this point, and he's still right in front of the bomb. And originally, yeah, I thought to myself, he should have had a burnt face from that when that blew up. Like you don't see blood splatter, but you see the blast hit him. But it took me the second time to realize, oh, he put his arms up.
Yep, that's it. He's also wearing a protective mask, so.
I mean, the mask protected most of him, just not the eyes and the mouth.
Not the bottom of his face. So he could have gotten burned, but like you said, he ducked.
That's what I think the arms saved him. Definitely. But something else I didn't realize, one of the guys at the funeral who's kind of bad-mouthing all the rich people, he's the guy who Batman pummels when he's on adrenaline later, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he was. He definitely was.
Yes, and you see, too, that the Riddler's there, but Bruce never points out or yells, he's up there! He's only, like, focused on the madness.
Visual storytelling. Like, they just look. And you know what I noticed during that funeral scene? If you look closely, like, the kid noticed him first.
Mm.
And then Batman looks up and sees the Riddler.
Yeah, that kid's kind of got a smart eye, which almost made me think again, are we sure that's not Robin? I know that's not how his parents go, but that kind of was feeling a little Robin-ish.
It did, but like, I don't think, apparently Matt Reeves didn't intend to put Robin in the movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like, there is an opportunity. I mean, I could see.
Yeah. It's like Iron Man 2 with
Robin, I could see like Jason Todd or Tim Drake exist in this universe.
Yeah.
It would be a bit daring.
For a second, I thought they were going to pull an Iron Man 2 with Spider-Man in there.
Yeah, but it could do that. But it was like, it would be a little too daring to skip Dick Grayson because he is an iconic Robin. But,
yes.
But they were hinting at like all 3 Robins intentionally or unintentionally, I should say. Like like by the end of the like near the end of the movie, like Catwoman said that she was going to go to Bloodhaven, and that's where Dick Grayson fought crime when he was Nightwing. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So they're probably setting something up for that.
probably. So we might get Dick Grayson sometime soon. And that that teenage street thug with half his face painted. No, he's like he didn't want. He was like part of this gang. He
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want to
The
beat
one
anybody
guy
up.
who
I
ran
felt like,
away when
oh
Batman was beating the crap out of the rest of those guys.
yeah, and he let the kid go, and I'm like, oh, maybe he'll be the next Robin, or maybe it's the mayor's kid. Maybe he's gonna be, he could be the next, he could be the other Robin. Like,
Yeah, something I noticed with that beatdown scene too, like not just the fact that even though we knew it was coming from the trailer, it still shook us the way he beat the crap out of that first guy. It
oh
was the
god, that was
reaction of the
brilliant.
guy who he saved. Even though he just saved that guy's like, don't hurt me.
Oh god, yeah, I would
Because
be terrified of him
Batman is
too.
only known as vengeance, as something to fear, regardless.
Exactly. Like there were so many yeah, there were so many moments where even where Batman was just so intimidating and downright scary. Like the opening monologue of him narrating about him going on patrol in Gotham City, and we see all the criminals do like committing crimes and felonies, like robbing convenience stores or spray painting the bank, and
With Broke, yeah.
like when the bat signal lights up and they see it, they look at the corner and see a
The
shadow of
closest shadow.
the closest shadow, and they immediately run away or just back up slowly and then just make a run for it.
It
Like
is,
that
these are people
really
who have seen horror movies. They know I'm not going to look at what's in that shadow. I'm running.
exactly run. Like
And it's the people who actually don't even care about the shadow. They're the ones that get their asses beat.
and what I loved about the line he delivered after was he says, "They think I'm hiding in the shadows, but I am the shadows." And I thought that was the perfect way. That was like the perfect way to deliver that line. Right? Was do that right after the scenes of them running away from the shadows.
Oh, all right. Now I got to talk about the car chase sequence.
Oh yes, between Batman and the Penguin, like that was epic. Like
That was one of the best shot sequences in that whole entire movie, I
oh
feel.
absolutely, like no doubt about it. Like I think the best way they did was how they opened it. That the car chase scene, like it was again looked like something out of a horror movie, like Christine. Like when Batman revs up the car and
Yes,
you just
because
hear the engine
you
roaring.
realized at that moment we haven't even seen the Batmobile yet, and now it's here.
Yes, and it was there.
Matt Reeves made the right choice. He's like, I'm gonna save this for when it only matters.
And it did matter. It really did. The part where Batman revs up the Batmobile and Penguin just stares down. He just looks at it with such anger and fierce, like. And then later when he starts getting ready to drive, the ignition starts to ignite, and he starts driving. Penguin just makes a run for it, just starts and just leaves his team behind. Just that epic car chase scene, like lasted for like I don't know, it was like 5 minutes long, and it was just so
Yeah, like
epic
around,
and
yeah,
thrilling.
just a little over 5 minutes. My God, the amount of destruction caused by Penguin in that. But when
I know he was driving on the wrong side of the road.
he was half the time he was driving on the wrong side of the road, and then he just plows through a bunch of the cones to get to the other side, and even then he's still driving like he's on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, even then, and just when you think that he lost Batman,
The ramp.
then he comes flying through the flames, like, and those horror movie strings, like that kind of horror movie music you hear, like
Like,
that.
I've lost him. No, you didn't.
Yeah, and
Kind of
then
thing.
those violins start screeching like when he starts coming in and just crashes him. Ah,
Yes, and you realize too, he's spinning, but you don't hear thuds. It's because he's still in the air spinning. That's how hard he's
yes.
hitting.
Yeah, like again, props to props to the cinematography department. Like, they
Yeah, good
really
choices. Like,
very good
don't show
choices.
him hit the ground unless he's on the outside first. But I
And
gotta say, when he's thinking he lost the bat, after Batman jumped that ramp, there was a part of me that thought, is his Batmobile about to land on top of the car?
that's what
I
I was
thought he
thinking
was
too.
about
Like,
to crush
kind of like in
Penguin's car with
Batman v
that.
Superman, where Ben Affleck's Batman like crashes into that truck.
Yeah, like split it centered. Yeah, I thought he was going to like just jump, like land right on top of him or something, but this at least gave us that epic shot of him upside down walking in
Oh
the
yes.
rain.
Sorry to
That
interrupt.
was, yeah, no, that was solid. And then, of course, we get the interrogation, and like the clues are kind of starting to come together because something early on that I knew was going to be important was that project that the Waynes started. Like you're watching that on the news, you're like, yeah, this is definitely important. And the opponent for mayor even brought up, yeah, ever since that project happened, crime has only gone up. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's why. Because they were funneling drug money through there.
Yeah, and that renewal project, because it's been corrupted by politicians and mobsters, like that was the result of the Riddler just getting revenge because that project was supposed to help fund the orphanage.
Yes.
And because it never came into position, like the Riddler and all the other orphans had to be stuck in one room together and and one of them, one of them died from the cold.
A baby dies every winter, and you're screaming when the rats bite your fingers.
Yes. Like and it shows the consequences of what these people have done.
Yeah, so, the way it's almost put, you almost kind of feel like the Riddler is a vigilante, even with
He kind of
as
is, but
as
in a very bad way.
psychotic as he's demonstrated and how much he's enjoying it. You really feel like you kind of get it a little, and you see, oh, you really were inspired by Batman, which is why later on, and we'll get to it a little more afterwards, why he flips out when Batman's just like denouncing him.
Oh god, I love that moment. It again, that was a moment where I was like, Paul Dano better get an Oscar nomination for this.
I remember you saying that to me in there.
Like, man, he just delivered it.
And yeah, there was a lot of like little twist and ties between how everything went along with like between the rat, how the Marconis and everyone's running the city, and like the police got greedy when they wanted a bigger pot after the supposed biggest drug bust in all of Gotham.
Yes, when they busted Sal Maroni's drug trade, and then, like I said, politicians, the the elite, and Carmine Falcone and his mafia want to take power over it.
Yes, and he's basically and Marcone. Uh, I always mispronounce his name, but he's basically right. They said at one point he is the mayor. He's been the mayor for the last 20 years.
Yes, Falcone, definitely.
Falcone.
Yep, that's his name. Actually, I think it's supposed to be pronounced Falcone because it's Italian, but
Yeah.
sometimes kind of like in The Godfather, how they keep saying either it's Corleone or Corleone.
Yeah.
So,
But and one of the most important parts with the penguin, this felt like Joker humor, and it was one of my favorite shots in the whole thing. When they have him tied up, feet and hands, they were like to them. I don't know whose idea it was, but someone must have realized if he actually had to move, he would be walking like a penguin, wouldn't
he
he?
did, and he did. That
That
part
would
made
have
me
been the
gag. I
perfect
love
time
it.
for an F bomb.
Right?
That
That would have been a great place for an F bomb. But regardless, F bomb or no F bomb, it was such a great moment. Like I just love this not Riddler, Penguin just trying to catch up with Batman and Goran's like, hey, get back here, you
He's
goddamn
like,
sons of
hey, you
bitches.
untie me! You untie me, you ungrateful bastard! Get me out of this!
Yeah, Colin Farrell was definitely a standout. Well, one of the
Which is
standouts.
why he's getting his own series.
I'm so glad. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
Uh,
I am excited for that. Like, I tried getting the Peacemaker, couldn't get into that, but this is an HBO DC series I am excited for.
See, I love Peacemaker, but I am extremely excited about what DC's going to do next.
Yeah, because this one's relying more on noir grittiness rather than just a lot of over the top coarse language and stuff like that and imagery.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to this. I also can't wait for Arkham if that ever gets produced.
Do you think they're going to set up Robin in one of the series or the next movie?
My safest bet would be the next movie. But hey, who knows? We might get hints of Haley Serkis thrown into one of these shows.
That's what I was thinking. They might plant little seeds here and there to set it up properly in the shows.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Now, so I'm trying to think. How So the fourth victim was Salvatore Maroni, and that's where basically the Riddler lets himself get caught.
Carmine Falcone. I know it's
Carmine Falcone. I mixed the two. Salvatore Maroni, Falcone, Maroni.
Don't worry
It's
about
so
it.
easy to mix their names up.
Two of them are notorious mobsters in Gotham, so it can be a little bit easy to mix it up a bit. But
Absolutely.
Falcone, yeah, the fact again, a very underrated character in both the comics and the movies.
And I like that he was Selina's father.
Oh, yes, that was a good twist. You know what? That too reminded me of Chinatown. The way she said that he was my father. It reminded me of the way Faye Dunaway. Spoilers if you haven't seen Chinatown. Have you seen Chinatown yet?
I have not.
Okay, well, I'd say this. I'm not going to spoil anything, but all I can say is just watch Chinatown after this.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spoil this one for you.
You know what was funny too was the way how Selina was thinking, I have to kill him because he owns the city. There's no way to stop him. And for the first time, like normally something like that would be so difficult, so methodical, but she leaves and then the answer's so obvious. It's just play this just play this on the news and you got him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that almost felt slightly convenient that they had that voicemail, but it didn't feel super MacGuffin-y. It felt like, no, she was clever enough to call because she thought her friend thought something might happen to herself, so she left her a message.
Yeah, that's what happened. And that was such a I can't even speak today. But that was such a very that was a very disturbing phone call. When you hear
the scream,
mate screaming and Carmine Falcone strangling her, and it kind of left me on the edge of my seat going, "Oh, yikes!"
He likes it. He likes to strangle because that's what he tries to do to Selina.
Yeah, and I know that's what makes it more disturbing. Like your own daughter, really?
It just goes to show you the guy's got no soul, and you're kind of in the end glad. Like
I know,
she didn't have to step into the darkness.
That's what I liked about this take on Falcone was he acts like he has a soul. Like he talks with a very kind voice.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm happy to help you, but I'm also happy to hurt you at any single point if necessary."
He's basically the devil when you think about it.
He's a straight up sociopath in this.
Absolutely. When we first meet him, he kind of sounds like he's like this uncle to Bruce Wayne in the funeral scene.
Oh, the fact he's the one who had his parents killed. Like he tries to put it on someone else, and then Alfred's just like, no. He told you it was Maroni? No. it was Falcone. Your father said he was going to turn himself in, and the next night he's dead.
Oh, I know that was, and what I loved about that scene was how emotional that moment was. Like we really get a very tender, we see a very tender and emotional side of Bruce Wayne that we barely ever get to see in the movies.
Him and
But
Alfred together. That's what really tied them together, I felt.
exactly, like there were moments, there was a couple moments in the movie where it looks like Bruce was on the verge of tears. Like when he goes back to the Iceberg Lounge and he's just Bruce Wayne. Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
looks so
He's like, I'm not
emotionally
going to beat
drained.
anyone up. I don't have it in me.
He looks so shaken. Like he was just drained out. Like, and you just can't help but feel sorry for him. For it was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, why haven't we gotten more of this side of Bruce Wayne, in other movies? Like, I just loved how they really fleshed out this character.
Yes. And I was especially pleased that this was one of the first times we don't actually see his parents die because Matt Reeves probably knew, yeah, you've seen his parents die enough times. You know the story. You don't need to see it. This is like Tom Holland's Spider-Man. It's like we don't need to show Uncle Ben. We'll say
Exactly.
we can just dance around it, but we don't need to see it. Like I was fine with it in Joker, but when we had seen it in Batman v Superman, one, we had seen it too many times. Two, the casting of Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Maggie Lauren Cohan, it was like they were trying to give a middle finger to Walking Dead fans right there. That was a middle finger to Walking Dead fans because that was right around the time that season 7 premiere had aired.
Yes. But I hate hopping back and forth on which scenes from the Batman, but can we go back to the Carmine Falcone moment where,
With Selena.
yes, with Selena, like again, a very thrilling moment and just very like very disturbing how a cold-hearted man like Carmine Falcone would kill his own daughter, like
And
without any remorse.
she gets his face good, but then
Oh,
for some odd reason she doesn't try to do it again.
def, yeah, and what I liked about how he like so when right when Batman was about to take him to custody, and he brings him to one of the street lights
Into the
and
light.
into the light, because one of Riddler's clues to the Batman was bring the rat into the light, and
Yep.
before he takes him in, we are immediately informed that Falcone was a rat for the police. And when he was bringing him out
And
into the
Penguin's about to
streetlight,
confront them.
you hear a gunshot go off, and you see Falcone lying on the streets like dead. And Batman looks up at the streetlight, and you're like,
And
it
someone else
already hits
points it
you.
out too.
Yep. And then he looks on the other side. He sees the Riddler in silhouette running away from his window. Like that makes sense.
You know what was nice about that too for me? Selena wanted to kill him. She was about to step into his shoes almost. And instead, they're like, no, 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 no. We don't need to. We just destroyed his career. He's got nothing. He was even confident. And Jim Gordon was like, yeah, no, not all cops are in your pocket. And in the end, she still gets to see him dead, but she didn't have to be the one to do it. She's just looking at him like, good riddance.
It's amazing. I think what I liked about that moment was that he dies right after he loses all his power.
Yes. Yes.
He's not
It
a
felt like
powerful
the
man
Night
anymore.
Manager to me.
What?
Have you seen The Night Manager with Hugh Laurie and Tom Hiddleston?
No, I have not.
Okay, so the ending, the very last reaction shot you get from Hugh Laurie's character is one of those just kind of moments. And it took me back to that a little.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you lost it all. You lost.
That was a great moment, like definitely. But let's see, like there were now that we've gone to that part, how about the part where the Riddler gets arrested? Again, so many facial expressions from Paul Dano. Like first you see him making having his cup of coffee. He gets arrested, but the police come in and tell him to put his hands up. And when he turns around, the very first thing he says to them is like, "I just ordered a slice of pumpkin pie," and he gets arrested. I'm like, what I love about Paul Dano Dano's Riddler is that he's extremely scary, but he's never afraid to show his sense of humor.
You almost feel like he is the Joker in a sense, which is why I kind of dig
But without feeling like the Joker. Yeah.
the Joker Riddler.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
But what I love is like he makes like once he's getting like cuffed behind his back, he's like making those strange facial expressions while doing it, and then he looks at it's like he's enjoying it. I'm like, oh my god, this dude is insane.
He looks like he's about to CLIMAX in a way.
Oh god. Oh dear god.
Spelling it out just for the standard.
I know what that means.
He had that face a lot during this whole thing. The way he breathed in that mask and everything, I thought to myself, oh my god, what are you doing in there?
But I think, and like once he gets arrested and Batman finds out the next clue, after he meets him in Arkham Asylum, he finds the carpet tucker.
But that was a good interrogation scene too. It felt like they were trying to put it. It almost felt like an homage to the very first scene that's ever been filmed from The Dark Knight, which was that interrogation scene.
Yes, very much so. But I think what I liked about both versions is like I put both of them on the same level as each other. But what I like about The Dark Knight was it takes Batman to a philosophical approach, and the Batman takes Batman to a psychological approach. And you can feel the psychological horror within that moment in the interrogation scene. Like,
which is why when he tells him, no, no, you're not like me. You're a freak and you're alone. And then he's just walking around like, no.
This was not how it was supposed to go. And then he kind of tells him his plan without saying
his hero basically crushed his hopes, and then he's like, oh.
But I had this planned out altogether.
You didn't think of
it?
Batman
goes, what plan? And it's like, didn't you figure it out? And then he's like,
you're not as smart as I gave you credit for.
I love that line. Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were.
The funny thing, so here's where I kind of felt it was a little counterpointed on both sides. It seems like he wanted Batman to actually find it. He wanted him to find the clue so that he would figure out the plan and then try to stop it. But at the same time, this was such an orchestrated attack, it felt like he also wanted it to happen. And he's enjoying it when it's actually happening, like all the explosions, and he's just timing, boom, boom. And I'm thinking, okay, so did you want it to happen or did you not want it to happen? Because you're kind of going both ways.
He wanted it to happen. He wanted it to happen, but he wanted Batman to figure it out earlier so that he could just be safe in Arkham as they watch the fireworks go off.
So what? He wanted Batman he was hoping the explosions would still happen, but the floods wouldn't?
He sees Batman in his own twisted...
He wanted a worthy challenge.
He saw, the Riddler, in his own twisted sense, saw Batman as an ally. Like, as he tells him, like, he was inspired by the Batman, and he wanted him to be here with him so he can be safe.
Yeah.
Instead of being part of the flood. And so when Batman asks, what have you done? He says, like, what's black, blue, and dead all over? You, if you think you can stop what's coming. He didn't want him to go out into the city. He wanted him to stay in Arkham to be safe.
Okay, that's what he wanted. He thought he was going to be like, oh, I'm going to get over here.
He figured it out already, but he didn't. So now he has to go back to Riddler's apartment. He finds the carpet tucker with the police officer.
Which was a good hint of where to look. That foreshadowed where you should be looking. I don't think the actual event itself was as foreshadowed as, like, say, The Dark Knight Rises when they're talking about, oh, you got my guys pouring cement all over the city. So that the whole explosion and flood thing kind of felt a little out of nowhere.
It kind of did at first, but when I watched it again, and I did catch some hints of what he was planning on doing later on, it's like, oh, okay. So it didn't feel as sudden as it did the first time.
What hints did you pick up on besides like the carpet tucker that specifically he was going to flood the city? Because I know there was the whole on the video chat you see all the comments, but I'm thinking, yeah, but that's like literally the moment when it's about to happen.
It's a little bit too subtle, but the explosive collar, like the bomb on the DA, and also the other bomb that was sent to Bruce Wayne at Wayne Tower, and then the letter that says "See you in hell" to the Batman, Arkham Asylum.
Okay, so yeah, maybe a little too subtle is just the one thing I would feel like that they're tiny hints. I think we kind of picked up on it a little better with The Dark Knight Rises though, because it felt like for this movie they definitely needed like a city level event to cap it all off. Because at this point the mystery was over.
I understand, definitely. But if I had to like compare The Dark Knight Rises to the Batman, and this is my disagreement with most critics, is that I felt the third act in the Batman was still strong, despite some problems with it feeling a little too sudden. I think it's still in comparison with The Dark Knight Rises. I felt like the Batman's third act was more emotional in comparison, because that's my opinion at least.
It's very much a Gotham origin of here's how the city came to be a wreck.
Yeah, I mean, it was already a wreck, but it's even worse now.
Yeah, like at before it was like yeah, well yeah, because also the flooding of the drug money through that renewal project. Yeah, like it was always a crime city. Yeah, 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 yeah. When the dam breaks, there's so many puns you can make from that.
Definitely.
And then we get all these maniac copycats that come in, including that guy from the funeral, and it just becomes like an absolute nightmare of target practice. Like that, like a good chunk of this. Not was it every single side or just a specific area of one of the islands of Gotham that was flooded? I think.
It wasn't like the entire city. It was like part of the city right near the shoreline. Like,
right, yeah, because you still see some like places where they're driving after that aren't affected.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like the ones that were like close to the bay, to the harbor, I should
Yeah.
say. And what was I like? Well, we were talking about
the climax.
The climax, yes. Like the part where he, he's like when he comes in to save those people, like towards the end of the movie, like the flood has taken an impact in the Gotham Square, like they call it the Gotham Square Garden, this arena.
Yep. Yeah, Garden Square. That's where everyone was trying to get to until the dam broke. The floods broke through there as well.
Like after Batman beats up those copycat Riddlers, and he's about to save I can't even speak. The flood's about to break into the arena. Everyone is like dying and like trying to survive.
And they're about to get electrocuted, and he cuts that. I almost thought to myself, why did he do that? And then it was like the second time I caught onto it, I was like, oh, that was going to electrocute them. That's why he cut that.
And because he wanted to save the people. That was what I like about this third act was it was character development for Batman to go from a vigilante to a hero.
Yeah, from a vengeful man to the Batman, because you don't even hear him say that name until I think when he says this might be the end of what? The Batman.
Yes, exactly. And then when he gets up, he sees the people stuck in the rubble. He takes out a flare, and I was like, okay, this is Batman now. He is now the full-fledged hero that he was destined to be. And he goes to the rubble. He tries to open it, and we see the people inside. They're still, they're just like he offers them his hand, but most of them they just stay back. They're too afraid of him until
because he was a man of fear.
reaches out, and everyone starts to follow.
Yes.
And now everyone sees him who he really is. And I thought that was a
Because
beautiful moment.
there was someone who he connected with through his eyes.
Yes, the eyes.
That's why that shot was so important, that look
Brendan?
matched.
Definitely. We
Yep.
almost broke up for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there was then another moment where he's like picking up this teenage girl, and he takes her to like a stretcher, and she would not let go of him. And I was like,
yeah,
oh,
I love that. I love that
was
shot.
such a beautiful moment. I was like, okay, that was a moment. Like Matt Reeves understands Batman. He understands that he is a hero first and a vigilante second.
And all this took in the span of a week because it was first October 31st, and now it's November 6th. City underwater.
Yeah, that moment was excellent. I thought it was stellar. And then let's talk about that Arkham scene right afterwards.
Well, first, can we talk about his goodbye with Selina?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Let's talk about with that. And it's very bittersweet. It's heartbreaking, but heartwarming. Like they know they can't be together.
And she's kind of had it. She's had it with the city. Like, yes. She doesn't have hope for it.
But she understands that the city needs him. And,
yeah. Well, she also is warning him though that this is gonna kill you if you keep doing this, because things are only gonna get worse.
Before they get better.
Whereas he says they're gonna get worse before they get better. She thinks they're just gonna get worse because everyone's gonna there's gonna be power grabs. She says, and people are gonna be taking advantage of the way the state of the city's in.
Definitely the Penguin, because they were really setting up the Penguin's rise to power. Now that
yes, that shot of him just looking out his window was perfect.
It's like it's kind of like him saying, "This is my city now, but at what cost?"
And yeah, I love how like they're driving together for so long, and then there's the one point where they're at that split road. They don't diverge right away. They just sit there for a moment because it's like waiting for that choice. Which route is he gonna pick?
And he goes to Gotham City. And she goes to Bloodhaven. And I just love the final shot where he's like looking at Selina through his side view mirror, and then he looks up the sky for like 10, 15 seconds. And it was such a thrilling 10, 15 seconds of him just looking out. And then it cuts to black. I'm like, and that was the moment where I just clapped. I'm like, this movie's freaking awesome.
You know what I realized though? Selina only had one cat with her that she put in her carry-on, and I'm like, didn't you have 3 or more before? Did the floods get the rest of them?
Yeah, I think she gave them up for adoption.
Let's just go with that, yeah, because I prefer thinking that than they got.
I hope those kids are safe.
The kittens are safe. They're resourceful. You see a dog paddling in the waters during that when Gotham's flooded, and I'm like, oh.
That dog is my favorite character in the movie. Protect him at all costs.
We don't care about the people. Save the animals. That's how everyone always is. Now for your favorite, the Arkham.
Okay, this is great. So for those who've seen this movie, and for those who haven't seen it, well, we should have said this earlier, but for those who haven't seen this movie, cover your ears. The Joker's in this. Like,
yes.
And I know we got a lot of this character lately, but I'm a huge Joker fan, so having him exist in this universe had me getting like giddy like a kid on Christmas morning. Yes, 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 all the yes. And the best part is he's played by Barry Keoghan. And I'm like,
who played Druid in Eternals.
Yes, I'm like, that is such excellent casting choice. If you have seen Barry Keoghan in movies such as The Killing of a Sacred Deer or The Green Knight, then you know that he can play a psychopath to a T. He's so good at it. Like, if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Just watch it.
I've got some more research to do with him, but it's funny too because there are people who could play Joker. The best ones who play Joker are the ones that originally people are like, with their background, that doesn't feel right at all. Then you see Heath Ledger's trailer, and you see Joaquin Phoenix's trailer, and you're like, never mind, we were wrong. They're perfect.
I know. I feel like that's gonna be the same. That could be the same with Barry Keoghan because I've seen some people like, oh, I'm not sure about him playing the Joker. He seems too young. The dude is like almost 30. He's older than Heath Ledger was when he played the Joker. I'd say we should give him a chance.
Yeah, I'm more than enough to give him a chance because let's be real, we hit our rock bottom Joker a while back with Leto.
Oh, yeah,
No
we
one's gonna
definitely
be worse. They've
I know.
learned their lesson.
I
They
mean, do they
know
do they
they have
want
to
this
be careful
Joker
with
to
the
have
Joker.
like do they want Barry Keoghan to have facial tattoos and a laugh that goes like
That was one of the stupidest things I had ever saw. That was one
to
of the
anyone who's watched
stupidest
this, I'm
things I
so
ever.
sorry I made you cringe. Um, but yeah, but even though we didn't get a clear look at the Joker here in this
I was
movie,
fine with that.
I love like we do get a little bit of him. We do see a little bit of him,
He's been
and it's
chemically stretched and burnt. You can see that.
oh, you can like the skin looked pale, and his mouth
Yeah, you can see
looks
the
like it was ripped
lines.
wide open, and like even though I'm not sure if all of his hair was green, but I might have noticed a little tint of green on the tips of his hair.
It
If you
feels
look
like they
closely
might
at it.
be holding off on the final design because they might make a few last minute adjuststments before he's finally
Oh, no doubt
revealed.
about it. Like this is just a cameo, so I
Yes.
think what they're going to do with this character is save him for either the Arkham Asylum spin-off or the third movie.
Yeah.
Because I do agree with a lot of people that having him in the second movie would be a little bit repetitive. So, and we also need Batman to face other villains before we get him to face the Joker.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Spider-Man. When they got into Tom Holland, they're like, we can't do the same ones we've done the last two rounds. We gotta
for the third movie. And I
we'll
think
we'll bring back the good versions of them rather than try to recreate them is what they do.
yeah, that's a good idea too. But again, Barry Keoghan as a Joker, count me in. I'm down to see that. But let's describe that moment with him in Arkham. Like what?
It's when two psychos fall in love, basically.
Exactly.
It's
That's
like
why
you're
I loved
explaining
it.
the birds and the bees. When one maniac meets another maniac, their psychosis basically creates blood.
Oh, I know. It's like I'm really excited. What I'm really excited to see is that dynamic between the Riddler and the Joker. It sounds like they might be hinting at war on jokes and riddles, but the way they execute that scene, they could be partners, and they could be planning their escape from Arkham sometime soon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's so the one thing is this is still early in Batman's career. He's just only started, so you got to wonder how like I don't think we're going to get another Two-Face right now because that would be weird. But what other villains would you expect to see? Because I don't think we're getting Two-Face or Bane since this is a much younger Batman. So besides Riddler, Joker, and Penguin, who else do you think we could expect for an early Batman?
Regarding Two-Face, I think we could still have Harvey Dent, but before he becomes Two-Face.
When he's just like starting in law, you think when he's
Yes,
like long before
because
he even became a prosecutor?
well, him already becoming a new DA, like because Gil Colson, the original DA, died in he got killed by the Riddler, and I felt
Yeah.
like that was a hint that Harvey Dent might come into the picture in the sequels.
Well, I figure either Harvey or the person who trains Harvey, because he still feels a little young to become a DA.
I can understand that. Besides, no one's gonna. Then again, I think my favorite. I don't know what I'm saying here. I was about to say that no one can top Aaron Eckhart, but then again, we've had new iterations of Joker that are just as good, if not better. So
I mean, I was technically in a movie with him.
right, exactly. You were.
Yeah,
You were
I wish I had gotten that chance. I wish I had Mountain Dew with me when I was at that premiere, so I could just be like, "Hey, you mind taking a photo with me holding this? I want to make my friends from LaSalle super jealous."
oh my God, that is amazing.
I wish I could have gotten that. I was about to get a photo with him and not Connor, Miles Teller, and then it was like, okay, everyone sit down, and I'm like, damn it.
Oh darn.
I would have even been like, I gave up my birthday to film for you guys. I need this photo.
uh,
But
but
yeah, I don't think anyone will, even if we get a Two-Face eventually, no one's going to top Aaron Eckhart.
yeah, to me, he's the best Two-Face. Um, Now, for the villains for the sequel, what I like to see, this could be a bit daring because of this certain character, but I would love to see Mr. Freeze be the main villain for the next movie. And if not him, then the Court of Owls.
Interesting. Now, for Freeze, do you think he should have that kind of background he had in the cartoon,
Yeah,
or
yeah, absolutely. I mean, tweak some things to make it a little more realistic, but I can see that backstory be adapted into this universe.
just no puns from him? He cannot
No,
no, not even one. No, not a single pun, because then that's all you're going to be able to think about.
not, no pun at all, please. Oh God, like, and like I can see.
Chill out with the ice puns.
Oh, okay. It says a guy who just did a nice pun. Uh, but yeah, I'd like to see Mads Mikkelsen play this character, Mr. Freeze, or do something daring and get an actor that we would never expect to play Mr. Freeze, but would end up doing extremely well later on. Like,
Yeah,
I was like that.
like what we got with Heath and Joaquin for Joker. Yeah.
And Ben Affleck as Batman and Robert Pattinson as Batman. Like someone you never expected to be a great Batman, but they delivered.
When do you think we would ever get Poison Ivy in this one?
Oh, I would like to see that. You know, there are so many Batman villains to be explored, or to be redeemed. That I
I
feel like
don't
with the
know if we'd
trilogy,
get a Harley though, because it would be a little weird when we've gotten the only and proper live action Harley Quinn we got right now with Margot Robbie. I'm not sure I want to see another one unless they take a completely different approach with her.
I'm going to go outside for this. Sorry about this. I have to get out of the house for a little bit. Brendan?
Yeah, I can
Brendan?
see you. I can see. There we go. I can see you now.
There
I
we
can
go.
see you.
Yeah. Got a little phone call. I had to be outside for a little bit. So, but yeah, I can definitely. So yeah, I can definitely see all of them. I think with the Arkham Asylum spinoff that Matt Reeves is intending to make, if it ever gets greenlit, I think they're going to use all those Batman's Rogues Gallery into that series to explore all of them.
That's how you're basically gonna get like how you're gonna be able to dive with each one. A lot of them, it's basically he's got his toy box right there.
Absolutely. Okay. Well. Yeah. Well. Overall, I'm going to discuss my final thoughts about the Batman.
Yeah, I was about to say final thoughts.
It's excellent. To me, it is the best DC movie ever made. It is the best comic book movie ever made, and it's a straight up masterpiece from Matt Reeves. Like, I have a rating system on Facebook, and it's kind of hilarious. It's called
Ooh,
yeah, I know you can't see me. There we go.
there
It's
you go.
the parking lot, the driveway light. So a good movie is called The Better Than the Many Saints of Newark. A bad movie is on par with The Many Saints of Newark, and a even worse movie, like the worst movie ever made, is worse than The Many Saints of Newark. For those who don't know, I really despise The Many Saints of Newark. It is god awful. So, what is my rating for the Batman? I think you should quite know this. It's definitely better than The Many Saints of Newark.
Yeah, I think this is. I still don't know if it's my favorite DC movie, but it's very high up there for me. Like
Nice.
it's like my tops. I think it's in my top four. Like my top four would probably be The Dark Knight, um, and not in a specific order following this, but after The Dark Knight, The Batman, Joker, and The Suicide Squad. I think are like my top four favorite DC films right now.
Okay, my top 5 DC movies. Uh-huh. So my
I
top
think
5 DC movies are number 1, The Batman, number 2, The Dark Knight, number 3, Joker, Number 4, Zack Snyder's Justice League. And number 5, Batman Begins. And honorable mention, The Suicide Squad.
Yes, I think DC is finally starting to get a better handle with its content, because it was a little up and down trying to copy Marvel for so long.
Yeah, the Joss
They
Whedon
kind
version
of
of
still
Justice
are with
League.
with their multiverse formula, but I think that they're starting to get a better handle, because now Warner Brothers knows we're gonna let you do what you want, and we're just not gonna mess with your work.
Absolutely. See, I want to see more director-driven comic book movies, especially the ones from Marvel. So I'm glad that, Sam Raimi has been given the spotlight when promoting Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I think Sam Raimi is a great director. I love his Spider-Man trilogy, and
He is literally perfect for that.
I cannot wait to see what Doctor Strange is going to be next.
That he is beyond perfect for that. Like I had found out so much bad news around that time, like Dragon Ball Z: A Bridge ending, Keanu Reeves turning down Adam Warlock. The second I found out that Sam Raimi, the guy who handled one of the best superhero trilogies of all time, and also a horror style, was handling the first superhero horror themed movie, I was just like, this is going to be perfect.
Yes.
I might end up once again breaking my rule and see this more than twice when Doctor Strange comes out.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Brendan, I just want to say thank you for inviting me to your talk show, your podcast.
Absolutely.
I can't wait I hope we do more of this stuff again when we watch other movies.
And
I'm
Demon
looking forward
Slayer.
to
We got to talk
Jujutsu
Demon Slayer
Kaisen, the movie. I'm looking forward to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm looking to Robert Eggers' The Northman. Oh, this freaking light. Ugh, come on.
It's motion censored, I guess.
Yeah, it is motion censored. I wish it wasn't. But
yeah, we're definitely going to talk Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan soon, right?
Huh?
Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan soon?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
All
right. Well, thank you, Connor, for coming on. And thank you all who tuned in. This has been All Things Media. We are signing out.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too.